Hello and welcome to my video all about how to knit the 1x1 twisted rib stitch. The difference between this and regular ribbing is that with twisted rib stitch you're twisting the stitches by knitting or purling them through the back loop. This makes twisted ribbing look neater and more defined. I'm going to be demonstrating using the 1x1 rib pattern, which in regular ribbing is where you alternate between one knit stitch and one purl stitch. I'm going to be showing you two variations of the twisted 1x1 rib stitch. The first will be the half twisted rib, where you're only going to be twisting half the stitches, and the second variation being the full twisted rib, where you twist every stitch. The first thing you need to do is cast on an odd number of stitches. I've cast on 17 stitches using the long tail cast on, but you could use your favourite method. To begin the half twisted rib, you need to start row 1 with a knit 1 through the back loop. Normally with a knit stitch you take the right hand needle up through the front of a stitch, but when you're knitting through the back loop you take it down the back of the stitch instead, like so. Then complete this stitch just like you would a normal knit stitch. Then bring the working yarn between the needles to the front and purl one. And then take the working yarn to the back and once again knit one through the back loop. So take your right hand needle down through the back of the stitch, cross the needles and complete the stitch. And then just repeat purl one, then knit one through the back loop, over and over until the end of the row. So bring the working yarn to the front and purl one, then take it to the back and knit one through the back loop. Purl one, knit one through the back loop, and so on. And then row 2 begins with purl 1 through the back loop. So instead of taking the right hand needle down through the front of the stitch as you would for a normal purl stitch, you instead take it up through the back of the stitch, like so. Cross the right hand needle in front and just finish it as you would a normal purl stitch. Then take the working yarn between the needles to the back and knit one. And then bring the working yarn to the front and once more purl 1 through the back loop. So take the right hand needle up through the back of the stitch, cross it in front, and then complete it as you would a normal purl stitch. And then just repeat knit 1 and then purl 1 through the back loop over and over until the end of the row. So take the working yarn to the back and knit 1, and bring the working yarn to the front and purl 1 through the back loop. Knit 1, and purl 1 through the back loop, and so on. You then just repeat these 2 rows over and over, and you should end up with something a bit like this. You should be able to see the V-shaped knit stitches on the front are twisted at the base. However, on the back you'll see that the stitches are not twisted, and that's why this is called the half twist rib. Adding twisted stitches to ribbing makes the columns of stitches more defined, but overall it makes it slightly less stretchy. And now I'm just going to quickly show you how to knit the full twisted rib, which is where you twist every stitch. And for this, once again, you need to cast on an odd number of stitches. Then for row 1, you're going to begin by knitting a stitch through the back loop. Then bring the working yarn to the front and purl 1 through the back loop. Then take the working yarn to the back and knit 1 through the back loop. And then you just repeat purl 1 through the back loop and then knit 1 through the back loop over and over until the end of the row. Then for row 2, you make sure the working yarn is at the front and you purl 1 through the back loop. Then take the working yarn to the back and knit 1 through the back loop. And then bring the yarn to the front again and purl 1 through the back loop. Then repeat knit 1 through the back loop and purl 1 through the back loop over and over until the end of the row. And that's the 2-row repeat for the full twisted rib. And this will be the result. As you can see, the V-shaped knit stitches are once again twisted at the base, but this time they're twisted on both sides of the knitting. The extra twisted stitches make the columns of stitches even more defined. Compared to regular ribbing, it is a bit less stretchy, but it also lies much flatter. And for comparison purposes, here's a photo of some regular 1x1 rib stitch. It's the same pattern, it's just that the stitches are not twisted. This version that I've knit is the symmetrical version. However, if you want the unsymmetrical version, which is knit on an even number of stitches, then this is the pattern you would need to follow. And here is the pattern if you want to knit it in the round. Note that you can turn any regular ribbing pattern, like 1x2 or 2x2 rib, into twisted ribbing by just twisting the stitches. And that's it, that's how you knit the twisted 1x1 rib stitch. I really hope you found that useful, and thank you very much for watching.